vi ele subir. Vi ele subir. É, aí tá lá. Tá. Tudo certo. Tudo certo. So let's switch to English. And hi everyone, good afternoon. You're here in a room, and also everybody online watching us from I don't know where. Hopefully from all over the globe, because this is an event not only from us here at FGV Rio Law, which is your host today, and we welcome you all, and we're very happy that you're here, but also an event that we do with a league which is called Law Schools Global League, with law schools from all over the globe on all 5 continents, and hopefully we're having visitors or people watching from all 5 continents of the globe. My name is Dario, and I will lead you through the event today. But I don't want to take too much of your time and want to dive straight into the event and go to our first speaker, which is going to be our Dean of our law schools, FGV Rio Law, Sérgio Guerra. So please applause for Sérgio.
Thank you, Dario. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. Have this academic event here at our school, FGV Rio Law. This is our name, our international name. And I have a official speech here that I'm going to read. But anyway, thank you all for coming. It's a great pleasure to have you all here. And let me be honest with you. I asked ChatGPT to write this speech, but the results were less than promising. I'm not saying that it did not appreciate ChatGPT help. However, I had to change and rewrite more passages than I would have imagined. I'm joking. But why am I telling you this? Well, AI is already part of our lives, and thanks to smartphones and apps, it's in the palm of our hands. AI has also transformed the sphere of education. We, as a higher education institution, must adapt to it. We must make use of its advantage and include AI in our curriculum, but also try to navigate around its disadvantage and educate our students on its dangers. On the educational front, I'm proud to announce that just a couple of days ago, we concluded our first boot camp with a group of undergraduate students who participated in a training program on AI prompt engineering with our partner, Claudio, from New York. The program educated them on the morally correct and technically smart use of AI tools in the legal environment. But as I mentioned, as educators, we are also faced with challenges. Does it still make sense to ask students to write papers? It's a very common question right now. And if so, how are we able to distinguish between a paper written by a human and another one written by ChatGPT? In fact, we know that, but it's a question that comes every single day. Or should we generally allow students to use AI in their assignments? After all, AI is here to stay and will play a huge role in their future careers. But if we do so, what about plagiarism and other forms of intellectual property theft? There are many questions to which we do not yet have a definitive answer. But the world of education is not the only one facing challenges in light of the rapid advancements in AI. So is in the legal world. On the one hand, global players, large international law firms, alternative legal service providers, and more legal tech startups and companies invest time, effort, and money in finding creative solutions based on this newly available technology, which will not only bring higher accuracy and increased efficiency to the legal profession, but also more just judicial decisions and broader access to justice. On the other hand, we have the inexperienced user who does not remember at least one news story about lawyer who used ChatGPT in their brief and ended up regretting it, because on more thorough inspections, they realized that ChatGPT had simply invented the sources and case used to support their arguments. So, today we are here to both educate and to celebrate the avant-gardists in this brave new legal world. And with these words, I warmly welcome you to the Global Legal Tech Venture Day here at FGV Rio Law, in this beautiful city in front of the Sugarloaf in Rio de Janeiro. It's with immense pleasure and excitement that we gather today to explore the cutting-edge intersections of law and technology under today's motto, AI Revolution in Legal Practice. This event is part of an event series spearheaded by the Law Schools Global League and our esteemed partner, IE University in Madrid, who share our mission of bringing innovation to legal education. At FGV Rio Law, we recognize the imperative of embracing technological innovation as a catalyst for positive change. Our commitment to excellence in legal education is underscored by our unwavering dedication to equipping our students with the skills, knowledge, and ethical grounding necessary to thrive in a rapidly evolving landscape. Through initiatives such as today's event, we aim to cultivate this culture of innovation, collaboration, and ethical leadership that empowers our students to become agents to change in the legal profession and beyond. Today's event features an exciting mix of engaging sections designed to provoke thoughts, stimulate dialogue, and inspire action. From through-provoking speech by leading experts to a riveting startup competition showcasing the next generation of legal innovations, and a dynamic panel discussion on the ethical implications of AI in legal practice, our agenda promises to deliver insights, solutions, and strategies that resonate for beyond this gathering. The winner of today's startup competition will have the opportunity to fly to Madrid and participate in the South Summit, the largest tech event in the Southern Europe, where they will meet with dozens of investors and hundreds and thousands of other tech enthusiasts. They will also have the chance to compete in the final legal tech startup competition against the winners of the other two Global Legal Tech Venture Days, held by our partners institutions in Kyushu in Japan and Belfast in Northern Ireland. May the best stars win. We count on you to bring the trophy and a lot of investments back to Brazil. I extend my sincere gratitude to all our esteemed speakers, panelists, jury members, one of which is the winner of a former edition of the Global Legal Tech Venture Day held in FGV São Paulo, and startup founders that the invaluable contributions and unwavering commitment to advancing the frontiers of legal technology. Additionally, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to today's sponsor, BTG Pactual, and My Legal by Chalfin, Vamboí, Goldberg, Advogados, for their steadfast support and unwavering dedication to fostering innovation and excellence in the legal industry. Also, I wish to acknowledge the invaluable support of the AB2L, Associação Brasileira de Legal Techs and Law Techs, for their tireless efforts in nurturing a vibrant ecosystem of legal innovation and entrepreneurship in Brazil and beyond. And of course, Thank you to Luca Belli, the head of CTS, and all the team of CTS, Rodrigo Viana, the head of Office of International Affairs, and of course, Dario, thank you for everything. In conclusion, let us embrace this moment as an opportunity to chart a bold course towards a future where technology serves as a catalyst for positive change, where access to justice is democratized, and where ethical considerations remain paramount in the pursuit of legal excellence. Thank you once again for joining us on this journey, and I look forward to the enlightening discussions, meaningful connections, and transformative insights that will emerge from our collective endeavors. Let the global legal tech venture begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sérgio, for your welcoming words. And as you mentioned, AI is coming not only in education, but also in the legal world. And it's coming fast. And everything that's new needs to be regulated. And with that, I want to hand over to our first and keynote speaker, Simone Lahorgue, which is not only a professor, thank you very much, at our esteemed university here, but also a lawyer herself and the ex-general counsel of Grupo Globo, the largest media conglomerate in the Southern Hemisphere. So please welcome Simone Lahorgue.
Let me put this in a size, yes. So thanks, Sérgio, thanks, Dario, thanks, Rodrigo. I'd like to start emphasizing the important work that FGV and also the CTS has been doing in the development of innovation, not only supporting research, but also incentivizing all the studies about this important matter to innovation. Let me start sharing some thoughts with you. I'd like to, first of all, share with you that, the last 2 weeks I was in Washington and then after in New York in 3 events about, in 2 events about AI. So this is a hot topic and it is a timely event here at FGV so that we can discuss in Brazil what are the challenges and what are the opportunities that we have to develop this important issue. So let me start by sharing some thoughts with you. If we think, if we have to choose a key word to represent this event, I'm sure that it would be innovation. And innovation entails creativity, thinking outside the box, and primarily technology. And when we talk about technology, immediately what comes to our minds is artificial intelligence, at least currently. This is definitely the hot topic for technology discussions. And AI has definitely, undeniably permeated our lives for better or for worse in a definite fashion. But so AI has been among us, as Sérgio mentioned, for a long time. But we can identify a tipping point, which is the creation, the development of generative AI, what is called, in a friendly nickname, Gen AI. So in this context, we have seen global leaders emerge, and I would mention here the United States, I would mention the United Kingdom, and China, of course. These countries are kind of competing to lead in the research and development of this technology. Other countries that do not see themselves as front runners in this race opted to regulate, to protect their nationals. And this is the case, as we all know, of the European Union. Not yet Brazil, but I think that Brazil is following the same path. But definitely, European Union is the country for us to to look and to follow all the developments because they are, of course, very ahead on this, on related to the regulation. So the EU has paved the way for comprehensive AI regulations with the recent introduction of the AI Act. It's the first horizontal law that details and also establishes a lot of guidance related to the use of AI systems. And in fact, every day we all enjoy the benefits of this technology, whether simplifying daily tasks, whether advancing medical, clinical works, or even research in the field of health, agriculture, so in many ways. However, while AI brings a lot of solutions, it also brings a lot of challenges for the society. And I would like to address at least 3 of these challenges. So the first one is the rise of deepfakes. So the main problem with the deepfakes is that it undermines democracy and also violates personality rights. So when it comes to the AI being employed in the electoral context, the problems that we see is that it manipulates public opinion, deceiving citizens, and also discredit public figures, including candidates and incumbent politicians. This has been such a big problem that the Brazilian Electoral Court, Superior Electoral Court, recently issued a resolution banning the use of AI in all types of campaigns or any other issues related to the electoral process. But this is not the only harmful effects we do see in other domains, such as personality rights, as I already mentioned. For example, there have been cases of inauthentic pornographic images depicting celebrities and even ordinary people. I'm sure that you all heard about the case of Taylor Swift and also about teen students in a local school in Rio de Janeiro that had their images displayed in the internet, and it was, of course, very harmful to both of them, maybe more to the students than to Taylor Swift, in my view, my personal view. So the second challenge that I would like to share with you is related to tech bias, and the premise that no technology is neutral. This increases the inequality between human beings in many ways, so it is imperative to pay greater attention to biases embedded within technical systems. The EU has banned certain AI practices in its landmark legislation. For example, it has forbidden the use of AI for making risk assessments of individuals in certain circumstances. And this is only one of the many cases where AI is banned in this brand new act. So it is, of course, situations where the uses of the AI entails unacceptable risks to fundamental rights. The third and the last topic that I would like to discuss with you is that generative AI systems challenge the foundations of the legal system. And I'm referring here specifically to author's right and also copyright. We know that the current legal framework was established when artistic and literary expressions were closely tied to individual creators. So now, as Sérgio mentioned, we have ChatGPT, we have Midjourney, we have a lot of AI systems creating content, audiovisual content and written content. And these raise several considerations. The first one would be, is it lawful to use copyrighted works as training data for AI? So the discussions, and I've been witnessing many discussions about regulators, about copyright offices in these 2 events that I attended, and there is no response. But the issue is that there is a landmark case law in the United States, initiated by the New York Times against OpenAI and Microsoft, to discuss this case. And then I mentioned in the panel at Columbia, I said with the Cleary Gottlieb lawyer, and I said, wow, thank God that you already have this case law, because then you will set the path for all the rest of the world. And then he said, no, don't wait for us, because this will take a long time to have a ruling on this. Okay, so there are many other cases all over, not only the United States, but also in Europe. I'm sure you all know about them. And I think that soon we will start to have rulings on this, and we will be able to, locally here in Brazil, to think about our context, because I think that it is important for us to learn with the foreign experience, but of course we have to customize to the needs of our country, and this of course is the case. So the second consideration that I would like to do is about this is, can authorship be claimed for works created by these technologies? So I've heard from the same lawyer, US lawyer, no, this is fair use. And I said, are you sure you think this is fair use? So I'm not sure this is fair use. I think that in some cases it can be, of course, but in most cases it is not fair use. It's a violation of copyright. And it is interesting that, and if we acknowledge the protection, who would be the owner of this? Who would be entitled to this right? We have three options, at least three. It can be the owner of the system, OpenAI, be the owner of the copyright, strange, or the system developer, or even the user. Well, what I have to say is the US Copyright Office did not recognize, did not acknowledge protection for works produced by a monkey and also by a machine. So it is interesting because if not even the US system that, as we know, is not focused in the author, but rather in the work, did not acknowledge this protection, imagine in the systems that follow the French system, the droit d'auteur system. So it was in two panels that I attended in this conference, and it was, all the questions at the end of the panel was directed to this poor man that was not able, of course, to respond most of them. So these are just a few questions that we need to reflect on and that require solutions. The problem that I see is that these systems completely disregarded these rights when they were first created, and this reality must not be accepted. Maybe the reason for this can be due to the fact that startups are behind most of the new technology ventures that arise. But said that, we all know that entrepreneurship is far from simple. Structuring projects, believing in the potential of good ideas, and convincing investors demand substantial effort, time, and financial resources, all of which are limited, we all know. However, sustainable entrepreneurship requires the integration of ethical standards and adherence to legal regulations in the development and in the use of AI technologies. So there's no way out. We must consider regulation as a potential path for tackling these challenges. At a first glance, I agree, regulation seems to be an obstacle to innovation. But we already had successfully situations where regulation was able to be together, to walk together with innovation. And I mentioned here the case of at least two data privacy laws, the GDPR and also our LGPD, where they that introduced concepts of privacy by design and privacy by default. So risks to fundamental rights must be identified and mitigated from the very inception of AI systems, and this requirement shall be imposed soon. Regulation plays an important role in this regard, as it will enforce entrepreneurs to be compliant with this requirement. This is a pressing matter which requires full attention from governments. Otherwise, damages to society may become irreversible. And I mentioned here that in another panel, a panelist from the US mentioned that when the US realized the damage of the big platforms, it was too late, because the companies were so big, so important, that no government would dare to stop them. So that's why, you know, when I would say, I have to confess that two weeks ago when I went to the US, I was like kind of saying, no, it's too early to have to have regulation. We should wait and see, you know, have the strategy to wait and see. But as I arrived there and I started, you know, getting to know all the issues, all the challenges and the problems that AI is already causing, you know, my opinion changed immediately. And now I think that we do need regulation. Of course, we need regulation that do keep the incentives and supporting innovation. But I think that it's crucial to remain vigilant regarding the risks, especially those already flagged as high by the European Union. But of course, there are others. But this is a very good starting point. And the reason for this is that once a system is set in motion, it's difficult to reverse course. So please, continue to work with enthusiasm, but be mindful of the responsibilities attached to entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this interesting speech. And I mean, I couldn't agree less. Couldn't agree more. Obviously, we need. Thank you very much. We need a regulation, but we don't have it yet. So all we can do, and what we're trying to do, is these sorts of events to inform the public, to keep the entrepreneurial spirit high, like even incentivize our students, other law students, and well, young and old entrepreneurs all over the globe to participate in this new brave world. And until we don't have this regulation, all we can do is inform and hope that they will make the right decisions. So with this, I'd like to introduce our next speaker from our own house, FGV Rio Law, Professor Nicola Tsingalis.
So thank you very much, Dario. Thank you, Sérgio and FGV, and for organizing this event. I think it's very important. I'm also a member of CTS, so I'm going to speak from that perspective of somebody that deals with technology and tries to understand how to best regulate it or not, depending on the situations. And indeed, I want to show here that AI, trying to follow the wonderful talk that Simone gave as an overview of what are the potential issues. I think in the end, it comes down to saying whether the provider of technology has a responsibility with regard to what is done with this technology, right? So this is not a completely new question. Is what we deal with all the time when we talk about intermediaries, platforms, actors that are necessary for the creation and distribution of content. So I want to make a step back and think about the times when the cassette recorder was invented, and there was this lawsuit filed by the Motion Picture Association in the United States against Sony, that had created this cassette recorder where you could basically record the shows of the TV and play them whenever you wanted. And the issue there was that you would not watch the ads, you would accelerate when there are ads, and therefore this was undermining their business model. So at that time, the Supreme Court of the United States decided to draw a line and say, look, this is a technology provider as long as the technology that is being sold is capable of significant non-infringing uses. So it can be used for purposes that are not infringing copyright law. Then we are not going to hold them liable, right? And so this was the first instance in which the court basically had to deal with technology from the perspective of secondary liability. A few years later, the websites started to emerge, and then people started posting gossips about others on these websites or copyrighted materials and so on. And so this question came again to the fore. And here the Congress stepped in and said, look, we are going to say that the website is not the publisher of this information. The publisher is the user, so they cannot be made responsible. And when it comes to copyright, we're going to craft a special legislation that says if you have any problem with copyrighted content that is available on any website, you have to submit a notice to the provider or the website owner and ask them to remove. And if they don't remove, you know, then they can be made liable for this particular content. So it was a notice-based liability regime. The European Union, trying to follow that model, even beyond copyrights, they said, in the European Union, if you are an intermediary, you can be made liable if you have knowledge that some illegal material is circulated in your website and you don't act expeditiously when you have such knowledge. Now, the problem is that when you try to import this kind of framework into AI, generative AI specifically, the big question is, like, what would be a notice that makes the website owner, or in this case it would be the generative AI provider, aware that they have some illegal material that is being produced? Since everything is being produced on the fly, it's not there all the time for people to watch, you know, and to download. So this model clearly doesn't work very well for the context of generative AI. So then we are moving to a framework which is based on the assessment of risks that can come from the implementation of the technology. In the discussion in Brazil, there was the PL legislative project 2630-2020 that was just declared dead in Congress. But the good idea that it had is that, again, we need to understand what are the risks involved in the technology and how to mitigate these risks. So we impose these responsibilities on the providers. Now, there was a little problem on this law, which was they also wanted to foment innovation, and because of that, they created an exception that whenever the platform was devoted to the sharing of open source material, this would not be subject to the rules of liability. So here the legislator wanted to stimulate innovation by saying, look, we encourage platforms that are open source, they create and make content available on open source, but they did not think very carefully about the consequences of saying whenever you have open source, you have a free pass, right? So in this context, there was also a proposal made in the European Union of the AI Act that tried to regulate AI and again inserted this specific exception to the duties and obligations of AI providers. So here we go, again, this tension between regulation and innovation. How should we address it? The problem when we call something open source, it's that in the context of AI, open source is much more difficult to grasp and to implement, because when you have a software, you can release it, release the parameters for this software, and everybody can intervene, edit, and make something on their own on the basis of this technology. But when it comes to AI, they are very complicated models. It's not enough to release the code. You need also to include the weights and the biases of these models. You need to have somebody that can lead the new technology implementer to understand how the model works. So you need a maintainer, what we call in the open source community, a maintainer. And you need collaboration. You need not just release and forget. You need continuous contact in order to understand how this model can be used and how to avoid harm with the use of these models. So I think that this brings us to where we are today. In the AI Act, they decided to leave some high obligations only for the most powerful models. So really the biggest one that go above a certain threshold of computational capacity. And they left basically the smaller one to decide on their own how to implement a responsible releasing of model open source. And I think this connects to what Simone was saying in terms of by design, by default, right? So trying to stimulate these small providers also to take into account the risks that are going to happen eventually down the line, how to minimize them. Just to make an example, our colleague Felipe the other day on the 1st of April sent me a joke, you know, the April's Fool. It was a website that generates news, fake news that you can create yourself, and it looks like the page of the Globo, you know, that says the news. And it was a joke that he made for me, but he sent me the print, not send a link. This is because this website doesn't allow you to share directly a link, because this would be very problematic if everybody starts sharing links of false information, right? So there is a safeguard that is embedded in this technology that is, we're going to make it a little bit more difficult for people to go and spread misinformation massively, right? So this is what we need to start developers thinking when they are creating a model, releasing it open source. You know, try to put some guardrails, even if you're not one of those big models that are regulated by EU AI Act and possibly by the Brazilian regulation in the future. Try to be responsible and create some of these mechanisms. One way that the regulator can also incentivize this is to create regulatory sandboxes where people can experiment their technology with the assistance of the regulator and show, you know, what are the possible effects, get some guidance. It is the idea, you know, the sandbox is the idea of a kid that plays in the playground in the space of sand, you know, so it's a confined environment. You are relatively, the kid is not running around in the streets, you know, and possibly bumping into people, is just staying there in the sandbox. So again, the regulator can stimulate innovation by creating regulatory sandbox environments. And yeah, overall, I think the message is this one. Both the needs to balance innovation and safety. At the same time, the innovators ourselves, yourself, need to embed this consideration from the start when they're developing their products. So I think today's event is a very good step in that direction, hopefully. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Nicolo. And now we're coming to the second part of this event, basically, which will be the startup competition. We will have 4 startups presenting themselves. One of them will be here, live, and 3 of them will join us virtually. One from Floripa, Florianopolis. Brazil is a very big country, so not everybody lives here close in Rio. Then we have even a participant joining us from Europe, which will also be presenting virtually. However, before we go there, I first want to thank our sponsors, PTG Pactual and My Legal by Schaffling Goldberg, a law firm here in Rio, but also the support of our communications team and everybody else here at FGV who made this event possible, and also especially my colleagues, Carolina and Alberto, which helped me a lot in organizing this event. Also, all the jury members whose names and organizations you can see here that I will introduce quickly and then give them a minute to introduce themselves a little bit. And also, obviously, dear panelists, whose names you're going to see next after the jury here. So, but the next hour will be dedicated to our startups, and I'm looking forward to their presentations. But right now, please, welcome to the stage our jury members, Claudio, Miranda, Yasmin, Curzi, Fernanda, Jorge, Maria, Clara, and sorry, the complicated name for a European as myself, Deoclides. He'll say a little bit more about himself in a minute, but he's the one who actually, that Sérgio mentioned in his welcome speech, he won a very similar event, or actually the same event held in Sao Paulo a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure he can give the startups here some good tips for at least the one that wins, because that's the experience that he had. Now I want to hand over to our jury members, and even though we'll say ladies first, I'm a simple person, so just let's start on my left with Claudio.
Good afternoon, hello everyone. My name is Claudio Miranda. I am partner of Chalfin Goldre Van Boeing Lawyers. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm also a professor here at FGV. I teach corporate law, and I am thrilled with the opportunity to evaluate these startups and go ahead with this beautiful project. I thanks Rodrigo, Dario, and everyone here for the organization. And in name of my legal and FGV lawyers, I emphasize the pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Claudio. So nice to meet you all here. My name is Yasmin Curzi. I'm a professor of human rights law here at FGV and also a researcher at the Center for Technology and Society. So it's a huge pleasure to be here with you. I also coordinate here at the school the diversity and inclusion program, so I'm really interested in listening to your presentations and try to highlight specific issues. I already said that I already mentioned that I'm the head of diversity and inclusion, so I hope that I can see some of these topics within your presentations and developments. And also, Professor Simone Lahorgue highlighted in her presentation that we don't have still a regulation for AI here in Brazil, but there are tons of principles and protocols for developers to follow regarding AI. So, for example, the OCDE AI ethic AI and AI documents, and also tons of other documents regarding human rights and AI. So I'm really looking forward to listen to you today, and I hope to be able to contribute in this subject too. So thank you once again, and also thank you, Rodrigo and Dario, for your invitation.
So hi everyone, my name is Fernanda Jorge. I'm from BTG. I joined BTG in 2004, 20 years ago almost. And of course, those artificial intelligence and IT stuff were not even our dreams. I personally work with corporate and regulatory matters. So all this environment is very important for developing our business, the banking business, So thank you very much for having us in name of BTG. I appreciate a lot of joining you guys here, and I hope very luck to the competitors. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, very nice to meet you. My name is Maria Clara. I'm from Aleve Legaltech Ventures. It's a pioneer business that works exclusively with the development and investment in startups from the legal sector. I work directly with the process of hunting and analysis of startups from the legal sector. So I believe that's the reason they called us to participate in the event, because nowadays I currently hold the position of Head of Operations and Marketing at the Aleve. So I am daily working with the 11 startups that we have nowadays in the portfolio. So we're always looking for good business and good teams to work with us. It's nice to be with all of you, and I believe that's it. I'm a lawyer. I forgot that point. I think that's not the point I like the most, but that's it.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Deoclides. I am the founder and CEO of Juit, which is a legal tech company here from Brazil. We were founded 5 years ago, and we have won the last event in the last century before the pandemic, and it was in 2019. What we do actually is to unify legal case law from all of the courts in Brazil, and we gather all in a search engine that is focused on legal knowledge, to build knowledge for lawyers and metrics, jury metrics and stuff like that. So we serve like the public sector, the private sector, among the biggest law firms in the country. We work with individual lawyers also, legal departments. We have very flexible business models. And today, a pleasure to be a judge in here, because I was 5 years ago, I was like pitching for the competition. It was like 5 minutes, not 10. So I feel like I was in huge disadvantage, but that's fine. I hope to see a great opportunity in here, because the legal tech scene has changed a lot since in the last 4 to 5 years, mainly after November 2022, when OpenAI released the ChatGPT and gathered all the attention and the buzz media and stuff like that. So every now and then, like now, I assume that every meeting that you are talking like Gen AI, Gen AI, Gen AI, Gen AI, Gen AI. It's like something that is very present in our heads and in our discussions. So I hope to see what we are going to evaluate in here, and I hope to contribute to the discussions. Thank you so much.
So, and right now, with no further ado, I want to head over to José, who is joining us from Florianópolis. I guess we can hear you. I hope you can hear us. José? We were able to see you, and now you switch off your camera. Now you're back on. You're back on.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Less for me, but I can hear you, everyone. So nice to meet you. First of all, I'd like to ask sorry for my worst English. I promise I will try my best, but if you don't understand something, please let me know and you can chat more. Just to introduce myself before I share the screen, my name is José. I'm CEO and founder of Ultra. This sounds okay?
It's not very loud, but I think we're switching this right now. I'm trying to make it louder for you.
Now it's better?
Can you use a mic? Do you have a microphone? Because I thought before using your headphones.
1 second.
Let's try again.
It's better?
It's better? Say something else, please.
It's okay? Can you hear me?
Can
it's
you
better
hear?
now? Or it's
Okay, they can hear us, so we're good.
Great. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is José. I am CEO and founder of Ultra. Ultra is an edtech focused on compliance. Today we are based on Netflix for compliance training and ethics, integrity, and something related to diversity and other things like that. So I will share my screen now just to share about my pitch. 1 second here. And to talk about Ultra, we have to talk about Netflix, because we are a Netflix of our compliance. So in our platform, we provide personalized content and training with leading professionals like the DPO of Whirlpool, DPO of big banks or something related to that, to training employees for another companies. For example, we can use our platform to train the BTG, like the Jorge said, and just train it in the, I don't know, ML, LTM, diversity, harassment, and another thing like that. We make the training process simpler and more interactive for companies using one platform that is scalable and allowing program managers to view and manage employees' performance in terms like, again, diversity, ethics, compliance, and cybersecurity, for example. The big problem is the compliance team used to invest hours in developing training or even seeking out, for example, searching for prices, for posts, and in the finally, head of compliance costs a lot for the company. It's a high-ticket team for one company, and they spend even more time managing the progress of training sessions and generating reports and follow up with these users. In Brazil, the regulated companies like banks and fintechs have to send this evidence for central bank or CVM, and then they have to be certain that this evidence was valid. Apart from the work of creating training and management, the team still has to make sure that the evidence is valid. And the solution is very basic because our platform can deliver all these things, because in our platform, the employee get access to a range of ready-made courses. Today, it's more than 35 courses in the platform, in a lot of terms, again, in the terms of compliance, ethics, integrity, and cybersecurity too. Besides that, the company can access automated reports separated by groups, teams, and companies, all organized and prepared for the central bank. We call it the Bacen, and CVM, for example, because we work a lot with fintechs and banks too. But we're always looking for retail companies like Grupo Soma, Arezzo, and other companies that we work with. The evidence was validated, ensuring that the certification of doubt insured are valid and secure. Two, the platform is for compliance, but it's for education too, and because that we have the Climb AI. It's where we came to use AI in the last year. The Climb AI is a form to implicating compliance and internal policies in a smart way. In Climb, we have like a teacher or a mentor. I don't know what is the best way to call this, but it's like a mentor where the employee can ask questions like, for example, is this a case of money laundering or is this a case of harassment? And the client looks for the company internal policies, for example, the ethics conduct and another policies and another internal policies, and the answer based on these documents. All of this using OpenAI in the platform of training. So if the employee have one doubt to ask about a training from AML or financial terrorism financial, he can ask in the chat, and the chat can answer these questions based on the internal policies. All this is scalable too, and can help the company to avoid repeated questions or with the, I don't know, where to ask these questions and something related to that. Our clients are more than customers, they're partners because they work with us in more than one solution and work with us to provide more solutions. And for example, client is a question, is an ask for one client about Cellcoin. It's a big client for us. It's with us since 2020. We already work with Grupo Soma. Grupo Soma is one of the biggest retail company from Brazil today. Now it's Soma mais Arezzo, not more Soma. And we always work with TechBank, Credishop, Caju, and another fintechs, famous fintechs and famous banks too in Brazil. One case here, but I will skip this. We have already raised awareness for more than 50,000 employees and more than 17 companies. Our business model is basically SaaS, a software as a services for regulated companies or big companies, where the head of compliance, the HR, or the data protection officers can contract the platform by a monthly based on a range of users of the company. For example, 100 users will pay 997 reais in a month. In this price, it's included all the trainings that the platform have. Today is 35, and all the trainings that we are producing right now. We're planning to have more than 124 trainings besides December in this year. Our team is composed by 9 people, who is me, Matias, the CTO, Gustavo, the CEO, Kevin, our CSO Latam, because we are working with Mexican companies and Colombia companies right now, and we're working to expand more to just in Latam, and now to the next semester we're expanding to the United States too with our first case That is Clara. Clara is a big fintech that works in Brazil, United States, and America Latina, Latin America, sorry. And then is this about our platform, our company, very fast, just to get you know.
So, thank you very much, José. Now I want to hand over to our jury. You have the microphones there, and if you have any questions, please ask them, and José will hopefully be able to answer all your questions.
So I have a question for José. So regarding Climb AI, if I'm not mistaken, this is the name of the chat that use Gen AI to resolve cases on harassment and other HR issues. We know that Gen AI, in most cases, is trained with social historical data. So how do we ensure that the use of this type of chat will not reproduce discrimination regarding gender and race, specifically in the cases of harassment? How is this process? How are you ensuring the fairness within this process? I think this is my main question. So basically, how is this AI trained, and if you have like any safeguards to not reproduce gender and racial biases? Thank you.
It's an amazing question. We just answer questions based on internal policies. So if the company doesn't have an answer in these policies, the chat will not respond to that. So in this way, we have it's like a barrier on the front of the employee that the chat can't answer some things like, for example, let me try an example here. If the employee asks for a pizza, for example, the chat will not answer these questions. He will say that this is not in their internal policies. So the training of the chatbot is 100% based on internal policies, and it's trained with the team of compliance, HR, and risks company too, because we make a lot of training by 1 month to a 2 month setup to guarantee that the company will not have any problem with the chatbot, like, for example, discriminations or something related to that. And besides of that, we already have in the platform one team, about 5 people that was working and looking for the answers that was answered for the company. So if one answer was incorrectly or something like that, we have someone in 24 hours a day to look and respond to that in the correct way too. So we don't have any cause or any case of discrimination or anything like that in the platform. And you hope you don't have it nothing. So we hope you don't have it, but now we have some security for just don't let this happen.
Hi, this is Fernanda here speaking from BTG. My question is a little bit more straightforward. Let's suppose that I was keen to hire you guys to advise BTG. Could you kindly give me a little bit more of detail on how your company would advise me on the banking segment, particularly related to PLD and to compliance issues? You know, what is the difference that would make me hire you? Thank you very much.
Amazing, Fernanda. BTG, it's a wish list for us. It's a very looking wish list for us. We are working with big bank that is not in our portfolio, but we are looking for work with BTG. The platform was created to focus 100% on the employee. Our concurrents, it's focused on the head of compliance, on the compliance team, and we are looking just for the employee. The platform, all the contents in the platform was created by specialized people, specialized teachers that are training these people in our platform. Like it's EAD, you know, so it's in distance, so all the courses is recorded. And in the platform, the courses is made for the employee. What it means? It means that the course is more easy to understand, it's more, I don't know how can I say, levy. I will try to explain that, but it's more levy. So the company can, the employee can access, they can see the training very, very more easily than there are other companies. We have a lot of data that confirm that because we have more than 50,000 users that training the platform with a 99% engagement in all the companies. We have companies working with more than 8,000 employees in our platform, and our engagement is more than 99%. Besides of that, we always help our client to project a chronogram, to plan, and to applicate these trainings. So we have more than 35, and we have worked with the clients to understand how we can applicate these 35 trainings in these companies, in PLD, AML, or another trainings related to that, working with all the ISOs, like for example, ISO 2527001, and another ones too. So basically our principal differential is the content and the easily way to use the platform, the UX that is based on the client, on the employee to use, and don't have any question on how to use. So this is that. Just focus on the high engagement team to work in the platform.
Thank you very much. I guess we have time for one more question. Not too many, otherwise Deoclides will feel that he was even more at a disadvantage 5 years ago, and that wouldn't be fair. So one last question for José.
Hi, now it's working. Thank you, José, for your presentation. It was very clear and direct. As I said before, my name is Claudio Miranda, and I teach corporate law here at FGV. So I have two questions, really quick questions related to that, connected to that situation. The first question is that, how is your structure of capital? Did you raise some money? Your money is proprietary. How did you develop it, all this structure that you just presented? And the second question, and more important, is how you keep your company updated. We know that here in Brazil, the red tape and the legislation, they are both really intense and always changing. How OTRA keeps updated in terms of legislation and the rules that should be applicable to your clients? Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Claudio. To start, we already raised 3 rounds in our history. We founded in 2020 in the medium time of the pandemic way. So we are working more than 30 years in the company, and we already raised 3 times funding. So this is how we develop everything. And now we are bootstrapping, we have the break-even, and we are working just with our money for this time. So this is our actual state of financial. About the update, our platform can update the content because we have one person in the team working 100% focus on analysis, the updates of the regulations. So for example, if Bacen, Central Bank of Brazil, changed something about the PLD AML law, the regulation, we have this guy to work on that and update these trainings again, to record the training again and say that this updates training to our clients. So we are the first company to do that in Brazil in compliance, because all the other companies that work with compliance and platform for training in compliance doesn't update the trainings month by month. We update our training monthly just to get 100% certain that the company will have the ultimate update training for the use.
So thank you very much, Jose. Another big applause for you.
Thank you.
And we were just in Florianopolis. Now we go even further across the ocean to the story itself, I think, is from the UK, but if I'm informed right, we will get a presentation from Germany. So please welcome Jeremy from Legaltech. And if I just pronounce this wrongly, you get now the chance to correct me live on stage.
No, this is totally fine. Can you hear me? And thank you for letting me join.
Yeah,
perfect.
We can hear you.
I do also hope you can see my screen. Yes. Hope so. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting us. My name is Jeremy Borman. I'm the CEO and founder of Legaltech. In essence, we use explainable artificial intelligence to detect fraud in documents and data sets. We do that for banks, government entities, and also law firms. We have a really diverse team. We have people from the United Kingdom, United States of America, India, China, and also Germany. We have really around 20 people with skills in artificial intelligence, business, and also law. And that's why we can solve any problem in a really efficient way. Current problem that we're looking at is that we have compliance officers at banks, for example, Sarah, and they get a lot of documents in from customers and even from asset managers, and they have to check these documents if there's any fraud, if there's any duplication or contradictions in them. Here's an example of one of these documents. They're really long. The process of checking these documents is really time consuming. People make mistakes, and there's a lot of inefficiencies going on within that process. The consequences of not solving this issue is that the compliance expenses are going to be increased for any business, for any bank, and also for any law firm. It's about 6 to 10% of income wasted, and we're also talking about a 22% of all operational costs. And to solve this problem, we created a web-based software. It uses explainable artificial intelligence to automatically do that compliance for the lawyers and also for the bankers. Basically how it works is you can log in on the left side. You can choose 3 languages, so it's multilingual. It could be English, Spanish, and German, maybe in the future also Portuguese. You can upload 1 document or even 2, or even connect the software to a database. And then in the first instance, you have an overall compliance. You can see, are my documents the same, or is my document that I uploaded the same with a potential other document? In our case, for example, that would be 80% the same and 20% not the same. We also have a sentence-to-sentence comparison. That basically means we take the sentences of the one document, we take the sentences of the other document, we put them next to each other, and then we kind of do a prediction. We see, are they the same, are they not the same? Again, we do a more in-depth comparison. It again saves you a lot of time, effort, and also automates a lot of things. We also have a keyword search. Basically, we put in a certain keyword. In our case, that could be organizations, personal entities, and also dates. And then we have similar words highlighted. So for my word date, I have any word in my document highlighted that is similar to date. Again, it can be year, month, day, whatever. And again, I can have that with multiple keywords, and then I have multiple keywords highlighted. Again, if I have a document that's 100 pages long, it just saves me a lot of time, and I can have my focus. As I said, you have English, German, and Spanish. I have multiple options for processing your documents. Lastly, it's the explainable artificial intelligence part. We were also thinking about a chatbot solution. Basically, we're trying to explain to you why we made a certain decision, giving you more transparency and trustworthiness, and also reducing bias in the decision-making process as well. Again, our value proposition, we save you a lot of time. We make your process a little bit more efficient. We reduce the compliance risk if you get in trouble and have to pay fines to regulators. We're trying to save you costs on that. And again, like I said, we give you more transparency with explainable artificial intelligence as well. Our current traction, we work together with organizations such as the UK Financial Conduct Authority, so the official regulator for the United Kingdom, also the UK Environment Agency, Banca Sella, which is a bank in northern Italy. We're also looking at the city of Munich, so the 3rd largest city in Germany, has a population of 1.8 million people. SFC Columbia is also somebody who we worked with in the past, and also the investment bank in Berlin. Our current data partners, so we train our software or our artificial intelligence with certain data sets. We are part of the FinTech Sandbox program in the US, so that gives us access to data partners like Dow Jones, NASDAQ, MSCI, and also Morningstar Analytics. These data sets help our artificial intelligence to become even better and be trained on certain data sets on a global scale. We're looking again for always product validation. We're trying to get more investment ready and also trying to have a better impact on our network as well. thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please ask me.
Hi, my name is Deoclides. I have a question regarding the technology, which seems to be proprietary, and how many people are 100% focused on building the technology? Because I seem that you are navigating very regulated industries, and it's important to have specialists on it. And right now, big techs like Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure and OpenAI, they are all aiming to big markets like compliance. And how many people are dedicated to building the technology behind the tool?
Yeah, thank you for your question. We have around 4 people that are AI specialists that are focused on the technology. Our head of research, Gayani, is currently doing her PhD also at the Robert Cornell University. So she is a PhD researcher in artificial intelligence. We are developing our own large language models. So we're constantly developing new models and trying to stay ahead of the market. We do have partnerships with universities in the United Kingdom, and also supercomputers, so supercomputer centers in the United Kingdom. For example, the Hartree Center, the University of Aberdeen, and also the UCL, so the University College in London. And through these partnerships, we also do conduct new R&D research to make our models even better.
Awesome, thanks. Just one more question, quick question. Are you building one from the ground up, the LLM, or are you fine-tuning a model, an existing model?
We've built our models from the ground up, and we're currently fine-tuning them on new data sets.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, hello, this is Fernanda speaking here. Thank you for the presentation, very clear, very interesting, the project. I'm a lawyer here in Brazil, and I take care of the regulatory and corporate issues at BTG, so which means that I'm very often in contact with the regulators, right? And I've seen from your explanation and also in your website that you had a partnership together with the FCA, which for me is one of the toughest regulator worldwide, and also with the SFC in Colombia, which is much more easy to deal with. So I would like to hear a little bit of your experience in dealing with both with those regulators, and how was the experience of dealing with them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. The cooperation came about through a greenwashing tech sprint. So it was more focused on greenwashing and finding cases of greenwashing in ESG documents and data sets. We basically applied on the official website of the FCA, and then we had an interview round, and then we got chosen. Basically, we had short sprints where we had weekly meetings with representatives of the FCA and the SFC Colombia. We basically got prospectuses of companies and banks and asset managers claiming to be ESG friendly. And based on these and the data sets that we had, so the data partners with NASDAQ, Morningstar Analytics, and also MSCI, we kind of had the comparisons and saw, are these prospectuses, maybe are there any cases of greenwashing in these prospectuses or not? We had weekly sprints. That was in August 2023. We did it until November 2023. We then had a final presentation to stakeholders in London from the Financial Conduct Authority, and currently we under review of doing a further collaboration with them. Their feedback was very strict, so they had very specific wishes that they had, and it was basically focusing on text understanding and also language understanding. So not only the comparison of the text, but also what they meant. And that was kind of that pushed us to further our product in that regards.
Hi, Jeremy. It's Yasmin here, professor at FGV. So I have a specific question. Actually, I first would like to congratulate your staff for its multidisciplinary and also the representation of a really diverse team within your company. So I have a really specific question regarding, as you're dealing with really sensitive data from tons of companies worldwide, how are you managing the storage of this data? And basically, how are you preventing data breaches and else other incidents of regarding the company's data? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we currently are storing the data on like servers on the European Union. So we are working together with Ionos. It's a cloud provider in Germany. So all our data is like stored in a database that is on that server as well. And that server is GDPR compliant. We also make sure our databases and our software engineers work in a GDPR compliant manner. That basically means if the data is not more needed, we have to delete it. We have to inform our customers that we kind of process their data sets. And most of the time we use publicly available data sets as well. We work together with two programs to make sure the data is secure. One is the Reach Incubator in Paris, where we have data anonymization tools and security tools. Basically, that helps us to anonymize certain data sets, especially in the private sector, in the banking sector, where our clients don't want that certain information goes out. We're also working together at the moment with Vodafone in Portugal. They kind of advise us on ISO certifications, making the business more cyber secure, and also adopting like cybersecurity practices that Vodafone use at the moment. So those are kind of the measures that we're currently taking to make sure everything is secure, and also like GDPR and also other data security regulations compliant as well.
Thank you, Jeremy, for your answer.
So let's have one more question for you, Jeremy.
It's a brief one, I promise. Hey, Jeremy, here's Clara. I just wanted to understand a little bit, how do you believe that you're going to solve the issue that you mentioned at the end related to the test of the MVP, considering that you already have a lot of clients? What you see that's missing? What you're planning to do to solve it?
Well, yeah, thank you so much. I think we just have to narrow down what the clients want and also improve on the software as well. Like I said, I think one big thing is text understanding, meaning we can already understand a lot of the text that we analyze, but I think really understanding, maybe even close to a lawyer, what is the actual meaning of the text, what does that mean for our clients as well, and also for the future. I think that's a really big thing. I think our collaborations with like supercomputers at the moment comes into that. So I think just to validate with more bigger corporate clients, also get their data sets to train our artificial intelligence models, will be important to make stronger large language models, which again would help us, our business and our company case for the clients as well. So if I would have to summarize it, it's more about training the models. It's also more about getting more data sets from our customers. Again, it's hard with banks and also law firms because they're really sensitive about this. But I think if we are positive and if we get more data sets, we're able to train it even more and better.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Another big applause for Jeremy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And now we come back from Europe back to Brazil, and I will hand over to our next online presentation from Simplifica Direito à Saúde, also Brazilian startup, as you can already hear from its name. And I'll hand over to Ana Luisa.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Dario, Rodrigo, Carol, all of the crew of FGV. I am Luisa. I graduated in FGV. I have a law bachelor.
Ana Luisa, can you hear me?
And I would also like to greet all the jury that is present today. So I am going to share my screen. And the idea here is that I'm going to present to you first a problem, and then I'm going to show you a solution for that problem. And that solution is called Simplifica o Direito Médico, or SDM. The translation would be Simplify Medical Law. So, this is Maria Jesus. Maria Jesus, she is a patient, and she signed a term of consent of a doctor. However, she has difficulties understanding the Portuguese language properly. So she signed without being really careful of the side effects of her treatment. So was it really a consent? She is now very unhappy with the result, and she is looking for legal advice.
Ana Luisa, I'm so
On the other
sorry,
hand,
I
this
cannot.
is Ribeiro. He is the owner of
I cannot listen.
a hospital, and he started hiring doctors as legal persons, and now he's being accused of fraud because of frauding the tax system in Brazil by doing that. Those are two very different people in very different realities, but they have something in common. They are waiting. In Europe, when you have a legal problem, and that I got by, actually right now I am in Switzerland, I also had the opportunity of being here in other times, and also in Germany, and by asking, communicating with people and to law clinics, I got to the conclusion that in those countries that I got that information, it's very easy to receive when you have a question. You go to an institution, in a couple of days, in a week, you already receive an answer for a simple question that you have. Whereas in Brazil, in 5 months, you might still not have your answer. And that's just by asking to an attorney, a simple question. Because if we're talking about a lawsuit, that might take years.
Ana Luisa?
Now,
Ana Luisa?
yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Sorry.
We had a technical problem here, and I think you weren't able to hear me when I wanted to ask you whether you have a different microphone or could speak a little bit louder, because it's really hard to understand you here.
Okay.
And please, if you may, you can
it's
start from the
better
very
now?
beginning, so you won't lose your time. It's fine. But if it were possible to start over again, it would help our jury to evaluate your startup. Sorry for
Is it
the
better now?
disturbance. Try again.
Is it better now?
You have to decide. Can you
Sorry, is it
can
better?
you, can
Hi.
you speak up a little bit louder?
Maybe like this, you can hear me?
Okay, I think now it's good. Again.
Okay.
Sorry, and please, you can start over so we can hear everything you want to share with us. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll start over. Basically, the idea here is to give you a solution for a problem that we're facing nowadays in Brazil. And by that, I want to show two very distinct cases, but they have something in common. So, this is Maria Jesus. She's a patient, and she signed to a term of consent, but she could not really understand what she was consenting with because she has problems reading a text in Portuguese. The doctor also did not explain. So she had to face sequels after a procedure, and she did not know that before. So was it really a consent? Now she's looking for legal help. This is Hélio Ribeiro, and he is an owner of a hospital. He's starting hiring doctors as legal persons, and now he's being accused of fraud because he's doing something to pay less taxes. However, that's not his intention, and now he's looking for legal advice as well. Those people are from very distinct financial conditions, and they are from very different realities. However, they have something in common. They are waiting. And I understand that this problem in Europe might not be a huge issue because after interviewing people here in Switzerland or in Germany, I got to the conclusion that to get a legal information, you can just go to an institution and receive that within a few days or a week. However, in Brazil, that wait is way longer. It might take over 5 months for you to get an answer with an institution here in Brazil. So, we have a paradox, because at the same time that we have a lot of people needing information and waiting a lot of time to get this information, we also have over 1.1 million lawyers associated in the Bar Association in Brazil. So it is contradictory because we have a lot of people wanting answers, waiting a lot of time, and a lot of lawyers that many times cannot find a job early in their career. So STM want to be the bridge. We want to connect these people that want the legal information to those lawyers that are there to give the information, but they cannot find the clients. And here in this point, I thank a lot Professor Simone for bringing up the democracy, because one of the main goals of STM is to make more democratical the access to legal information. So now to our product. Our product basically will now be displayed in a desktop version, and that's more or less how it will look like. And the idea is to separate in two main sectors. So we have consultancy and we have the litigation sector. In the consulting sector, we also divide into two. So the general guidance and the individualized consultancy. So for the general guidance, it is a database filled in with articles about medical law. And by typing a keyword, a person will be able to find multiple articles. That's basically how the front page looks like. So the person will be able to type, for example, punctuary, and they will receive a lot of articles about the topic. Maybe they will be able to have an answer for their problems already in that stage. We also offer individualized consulting. So basically it's filling in this form, providing maybe documents that they have, or the case that they're facing, the situation, and then they will receive, that will go to one software, and then they will receive an answer within a few days. So, on the other hand, we have the litigation sector. And what is that about? That's mainly about the lack of opportunity that lawyers early in their career have to find clients. Because actually, I am specializing now in medical law, and I face the difficulty of entering the market as someone that is not enrolled to a law firm. So basically in this area, the clients will be able to access the lawyers that are subscribed in the platform. They will be able to access mediators, arbitrators, conciliators, lawyers, everyone that can help them somehow, that can provide the support that they need. And now going to our rentability, basically it's going to be monthly fees from users, the law professionals, and sponsorships. That involves also the go-to-market strategy, because we're not intending on launching the platform and expecting that a lot of lawyers are going to be there displayed, but that we first need to gather a certain amount of users before that. And also for the sponsorships, it's a plan for the future. So the idea is starting with the users. So with the people that are needing legal advice in this moment in the medical area. So about our business model is basically a subscription orientated. So they, according to the reality of that person, they could choose different subscription plans that are displayed there in the screen. But also we work with a freemium strategy in the area of the general consulting, that is the database that the people can look for the articles, offering, for example, one article, and then they would have to pay to have access to more articles. And in the case of the individualized consulting, they would have to pay per individualized consulting. So we have a few competitors in the market, but no competitor that there's no competitor in Brazil that provides the service as we do, as specific as we do, and also with the price and the reliability that we can offer. Even the public legal system takes too long, and although the information might be good, we have the problem that the people have to wait way too long to get an information. So what are our current steps? We already made a survey with 900 people around, and we realized that people would pay and people want to pay for that service. So we're in the process of launching the platform, We already participated in acceleration programs, got investments. We launched the platform in 2022 as EC. It was more general, involving all the areas of law. We realized that was not the best idea and pivoted into SDM, more focused on medical law, that is a very growing area at the moment in the law market. And the plan is to launch the website in June of this year. So our roadmap basically is then to launch the website in June of this year. Around 2026, grow to different areas of law. So circulating in civil law, or maybe going to criminal law. And the step 3 is maybe going to another countries. Being here in Switzerland and being there in Germany showed me that although they are different, that model could also apply to different countries with small adaptations. So there is nothing that stops that from happening, and the idea is to make further research to check how possible it is to make SDM possible also in other countries. And the step 4 is way more broad, is to become an edutech, not only law, go into nutrition, go into physical education, and to the many different areas of knowledge. So our idea here is to educate people, is to provide people with easy language, and so that people may have access to the information that they need, as the current legal system is not really doing the paper of democratizing the access to legal information. So that is SDM, and you should have access to legal knowledge then in the palm of your hand once you have the application. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you very much for the explanation. I actually have a doubt, because when you mention general guidance from lawyers through a platform, okay, I think this could be something we could do. But when we talk about individual consulting, seems to me that we are like commoditizing the legal advice, the legal opinion, and I'm not sure if I'm pretty comfortable with that concept. And when you talk about litigation, also the same. So how would you deal with the liability process of giving legal opinion to other people that are in the other side of the screen? Who would be, having the liability here? The platform, or this will be, just on the side of the lawyers? This is a concern that I have, because even if you say, by signing several documents that the liability should be just with the people that is giving the advice, in this case the lawyers, or the what else? I think that you could have, at least in Brazil, a lot of legal issues within the platform. So how would you be positioned to have a growth and this liability process of other people giving advice on your behalf?
Thank you so much for the question. That was a concern since the beginning. This project started in 2020. And we always try to give the picture that this is for educational purposes. So we are not giving one answer for a person. So we already launched the platform before. It was free, and it was general for every area of law. And what happened was that the person would ask a question, and we would give different possibilities that they could do. Because when you have an issue in your life, you might believe that you have to go to the justice, but that's not necessarily like that. In the case of medicine, for example, you could simply go to the CRM, how we call the medical institutions, and resolve that problem. We had a lot of problems back in the days where the person could simply go to the local authorities and resolve the problem without going to litigation. So it would give a lot of alternatives that they were mainly to educate. So how could you resolve this? How can you understand what are the articles that would apply to that case? So the idea was never to give a direct consulting and saying you should do this, but to provide a lot of alternatives and to explain what that issue is and what the rights of the person are. So regarding who would be responsible in the case of something going wrong, then that responsibilization would be to the lawyer that provided the information. But I believe that is in any case also like that.
Thank you for the question. In any case, I would advise you to save some budget to the legal problem issues that you may face. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey Anna, here's who talking is Maria. As you mentioned, you already have some players in the market here in Brazil, and I think that it's really important to consider that this bridge between lawyers and people who has demands and needing clarifications about legal matters already exists. So despite the fact that you are specific to the medical sector, how do you pretend to differentiate yourself from the players?
I don't know if I could hear you very well because the audio is a bit low, but it's regarding the differential that the startup would have in the market.
Yes, exactly.
So the idea is to basically provide education for those who do not really have access to that, because we have, for example, platforms like Jus Brasil that would give information for people, but that's also a bit costly for the user to get that kind of information. Or they could go to a lawyer, or they could Google it, but there is always some kind of problem regarding that. So we have the problem of reliability when you make a research on Google. Or in Jus Brasil, I think that would be our main competitor. You would have the problem of it being a bit costly and sometimes not with a simple language as we want to use. So we want to make it as simple as possible for the customer, because we want to make sure that people who don't have the access to legal information easily, that they have at least access to the information regarding their rights that concern them at that moment. So I think our differential is mainly to be socially orientated and to provide that services with a low cost.
Okay, thank you very much.
So Ana Luisa, it's Yasmin here. So as I understood, your company is basically an intermediary between, correct me if I'm wrong, an intermediary between legal consultants and the general public who's going to pose questions, right? So I have two specific questions. First, how are you ensuring that these legal professionals have a good background and etc. are going to provide the right answers, and how are you going to do the regulation within this legal professionals who are answering the questions for the general public, the users of your application? And also, I think that in most cases, probably people are going to use this platform, use your company with hard cases and also sharing sensitive data. I was thinking, how are you ensuring that the communication is secure, is safe for the user? Is the communication encrypted? How are you planning to do this if you already have this established within your company? Thank you.
Thank you so much. About the sensitive data, it is something that we are very aware of. We are planning on sticking to every LGPD rule that exists And yes, encrypting would be the best idea. We don't have the answer to that question yet. So how are we going to encrypt that? That we still have to figure it out. But definitely, that's how we want to go. That's the path we want to follow, to encrypt every kind of communication. And regarding the first question, the lawyers that are participating, so this is also an issue that we face, so it's a very good question, because we are also facing that problem, that the ideal would be that the client provide a rating for that lawyer, so we have access to the rating for the answer. The problem is how to make the clients sticking to that idea, so how to make it mandatory somehow that they provide a rate after reading the answer. Because what happened back then when we launched the platform is that the client would read the answer and then they would not provide the feedback that we needed to analyze if that lawyer was giving good answers and if it was reasonable to continue working with that person. So this is an issue that we are also still facing. So those are two very good questions.
So you're basically working with users' own feedback. It's that the only regulation that you have to select the lawyers.
No, so the process of selecting lawyers is different from the process of keeping in touch within time if that lawyer is providing good information or not for the clients. So the rating, yes, would be the manner we would use, but to hire the lawyer, that would be a selective process for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ana Luisa.
Maybe one last question from our jury.
Hi, thank you for congratulations for your presentation. My question is regarding the speed of the deploy of the first version, because you said it was going to be the website was going to be ready in June, and right now we know that we have some marketplaces here in Brazil, not only just Brazil, but at least I can recall 4 more, and they were not in the presentation, but you can generate content through you know, a ghost blog with a paid subscription, and you would have like that in one night setup, and the marketplace, you can fork any project on GitHub and deploy that also in less than a week. How fast do you think you can deliver that, considering that is a niche product that has a very low price, at least for what you have put on the screen for us to see? I think that you are in a niche that you must deliver more value, and for more value you have to charge more, but I'm very concerned with the timeline of the project.
That is very good feedback, actually, that definitely should be taken into consideration. But the idea is to provide, when we launched the website back in the days, the idea was to provide the legal information in 5 days. But it's not only a simple legal information. It's basically an educational article that the person would have access to. So it not only gives you, okay, considering this, you should do this. No, it's written by a lawyer, not necessarily a lawyer, but that would come to a lawyer then to at least review that, obviously. But could be an intern, for example. But the idea is that in a few days, the person will receive not only what they should do, but everything, or at least a lot of what they could do, the information about the rights that are in discussion, the legal basis of that, and providing all this information within less than a week. So that is the idea.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ana Luisa. Another big applause for Ana Luisa. And we're coming back from Europe to Brazil, and now we're getting even closer. So I want to welcome our last startup on stage. They're here. So let me welcome Sem Processo and Gustavo Coelho. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Hi. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Gustavo Coelho. I'm a lawyer. Nice to see you again, Deoclides. And I'm here to talk about sem processo. Okay. So, I have my papers here to help me. Sem Processo is a hub of legal tech solutions for legal corporate lawyers, for the corporate market. We were founded in 2016 as a ODR, online dispute resolution platform, with a vision of reducing the world conflicts. Okay. So we were founded by Bruno Feigson, a futurist lawyer with an open-minded vision, and Carlos Eduardo Lacerda, he's here with me. He's a designer, and Bruno Feigson, a lawyer. And they founded Sem Processo from the beginning, always focused on diversity and multidisciplinary human skills. As Sem Processo strategy and adaptability grows, we focus on find people who has skills that fit with our purpose. And today we operate with a team organized in these divisions: product, technology, sales and marketing, operations, and financial and administration. We are about 60 people working in Sem Processo. This is our lead team. Okay, we have people here from developers, marketing, strategy. I have joined the team in this year because we have some new project that I'm gonna show it to you. I had another company that could bring me to join our venture here. Okay, so about our journey. As I said, we started in 2016 as an online dispute resolution with a purpose to connect lawyers and reduce the global conflict. As a pioneer in the legal ops market, we could have the vision of the market needs, and our strat plan drove us to launch new solutions in the future as Notifica and LawOp in 2020, Law House and Spectre in 2023, and in this year we are launching Lexi. Lexi is a software, enterprise legal management software for legal departments that connect all the market needs and all the solutions that we already have it. This strategy turns Sem Processo in a hub of legal operation solutions, sustain our 800% growth that we had until now, and has qualified us to be invested by Primatech Fund. Is a fund from BNDES and another entities. Okay. From now on, our strategy is focused on launch Lex, our ERP dedicated for legal corporate market, and AI-driven legal solution. I have a past experience in ERP dedicated for legal market. I was a founder and a CEO of Brain Law, and then I sell my partnership, and I came together with the team of Sem Processo to launch this ERP. That's why I'm here and I'm representing this team. Okay. We have some projects with the government. Today we are have a meeting in STF, in Suprema Court, because we are participating in some projects using AI to summarize some decisions, some documents, and something like that. We have as well projects with some courts, regional courts, as Pará Court, and using this kind of solutions. About our market, our competitors are Legaltechs, alternative legal service providers, law firms, and legal ops consultants companies. All the players are providing some kind of services that we have as well. This is, I don't know if everybody knows, but this is a B2L map. B2L is a Brazilian Legal Tech Association, and they have this map showing the companies operating in this legal marketing, their solutions and how they are placed in this market. Sem Processo, as a hub, is able to be a one-shop stop for this legal market. And we believe that's our big competitive advantage against our competitor, because we can stay all over this map here with our solutions. About scalability and growth, we are the only legal tech hub offering a full cluster of integrated solution for legal market. We have reached a stable maturity, which have enabled us to receive 2 rounds of investment. We have just received a second round. I will show it here. And from now on, we are developing our ERP solutions integrated with AI technology, gaining more efficiency, accuracy, and responsibility for all over our solutions. The scale of our solutions, we are resourcing to new distribution channels, partnerships, cloud-based solutions, engaging our customers in platform mods. So the strategy that we are using to scale our sales and to gain more money, more clients, is about that. New resourcing to new distribution channels, partnerships, cloud-based solution, engage our customers and the platform model. Okay. About our investor readiness, our journey so far qualified us to receive Prime Tech investment twice, as I put here, and make us fully capable of receiving and guaranteeing ROI for new investments from now on. Okay. And about the market opportunity, what we see in the front of us, the Brazilian legal corporate is a huge market, is a 60 billion reais market, and with a low maturity of alternative and legal tech solutions. More than 80% of the world litigation cases are in Brazil. And we are one of the most bureaucratic public administration system. So this is our fertile ground for action and innovation. As you all could see, legal tech market is booming with AI and ERP systems, and Sem Processo is surfing this big wave, offering all the solutions necessary for today's legal industry. That's it. Thank you. And I'm sorry about my English, I'm Brazilian, so everybody. Deoclides não vai me perguntar nada.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. My name is Claudio Miranda. I teach corporate law here at FGV. And my doubt is concerning how do you make money from these activities? Do you charge the company that will develop that will use your software? Do you charge the client? How these different solutions help you or make you earn some money from those activities and scale your startup?
Okay, thank you, Claudio. As I showed here, we have some products like Notifica, Lahorgue, law software, and in these products we have some features that our clients can contract and pay. As legal ops outsourcing, Lahorgue is like a software house that we can develop some tech solution for our clients as I don't know the name in English, as a system that they can use it for automate some activities, something like that. So we have com acordo is the online dispute resolution. We gain money outsourcing to us the process to negotiate the process, the case and everything like that. In law ops, we are an outsourcing company that I can do all the legal operations that the legal departments can't do, or they don't want to do because they want to be focused on the strategy that they have to deliver for the company. Today what we see is that all the legal department, they are becoming a strategy team inside of the company. Most of them are direct responsible to the CFO, so they are being more and more charging more and more. They have to deliver efficiency, they have to deliver cost, and that's the opportunity that we see. So, and with the Lexi, the ERP we are launching this year, we charge we are a SaaS model, and that's how we make money. Some clients that we already have is Grupo Cogna, Itaú, Creditas, iFood, MRV, BK, Amil, CCR, Cadu, Vibra, and some of our clients that are already using our solutions. Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
So I have another question, because first you said that, I don't know if I get it wrong, so let me understand a little better. You said that you are a hub of innovation related to the legal sector, but then you bring the names of like Com Acordo and the other solutions that you have. But I understand that all the solutions exist by themselves and they have some scale perspective. I didn't understand how Sem Processo has a scalability.
We was launched as a online dispute resolution called Sem Processo. Then we started to launch these another features in this another product. Sem Processo now is the name of the group, and I have the products here. So Com Acordo is an online dispute resolution. Law Ops is my software, is my outsourcing legal ops solution. Lahorgue is my software house solution. That's how we are structured today, you know.
Okay, okay, understood.
Sem Processo now is just the name because it's a very the legal market knows Sem Processo. Sem Processo, it was one of the first legal tech in the market, so we decided that is strategic for us as a company stay with this name.
And considering that you already said that law firms and huge companies are all aiming to have their own sectors that deals with innovation and everything else, you intend to be different in the market because you already have a lot of different solutions in the same place.
Yes, we have a lot of solutions, and we have the ability to be flexible and give them the solution that they need. as a consultant, technology, innovation, we believe that this market is going to run and change a lot from now on. So we have to be flexible. We have to be able to deliver this kind of solution as a SaaS, as a solution tailor-made for them. So that's
Okay,
our
thanks.
vision.
Can I go just really quick? I'm taking off my human rights law professor hat and wearing my programming for lawyers professor hat now. I wanted to understand more about your development process. I saw on your website that you have like a specific proceedings for the winding up of the processes, the higienização dos processos. How do you do this? It's with natural language processes, Gen AI. How are you planning to do this higienização dos processos? Thank you.
I say we do some of the services we use tecnologia molecular, eu brinco em português, né? Que é o moleque lá digitando e trabalhando muitas coisas. A gente fala, desculpa. Higienização is a service that some big companies, they have a lot of process, a lot of cases, and the law firm can't give them the information that they need about that case, and they send to us to organize, to structure this data. So we use some APIs to take the information from the courts. We can read the documents with AI and summarize this document. And the final of the process, we have our team, our legal team, people reading these documents and give the information final for the client. So it's not just AI there. It's not just technology. We have, of course, human resource inside of our solution.
And do you have human review too? Human reviewers within this process?
In some services, yes.
Okay.
Services like filling information about process in the client systems. And we always have the technology, but we still use human validation define. I don't know until when, but...
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Gustavo.
Hi, Gustavo.
Here you go.
I would like to know from, I'm not an investor, but from an investor perspective, you have a lot of solutions inside Sem Processo and with different and complex business models. So you have subscriptions based on users. You have like volume licensing for Notifica, for example. You have consultancy services like in Lahorgue. So how do you tie all that in an exit strategy? I don't know if you can openly talk about it, but what is the exit strategy for Sem Processo once it has a lot of complex different business models?
Our vision, Deoclides, is to be a Brazilian ever law. We can't give legal advice. We can't give legal advice for the client. If you could, it will be in our hub of solutions. So about the strategy of investment, what we show always is the big results and everything that we can do with all the solutions, because we truly believe that that's the way to go to the next step of the legal ops and the legal market, And I don't know if I give you the answer, but that's it.
Yeah, thanks.
We need to share the microphone here. So thank you very much, Gustavo, for your presentation, for your questions, for your answers. Please stay with us. So, another applause. So, You guys will now have the hard task to decide who of those four gave the best presentation, gave the best answers to all your questions, and which one or which startup do you think has the most potential. So please follow Alberto and Carolina. They will show you upstairs to a room where you can scheme and discuss amongst yourselves. And in the meantime, we're having here a panel discussion on the use of AI, which is the topic of today's event, in legal practice. So please, let me welcome to stage our moderator and in-house professor, José Luiz, and also our panelists, Felipe Medon, Caroline Tauk, and Maria Eduarda. So please come to stage, and I'll give you a couple minutes to present yourselves, and then I will hand over to José to ask you his questions.
Okay, so while we eagerly wait for Jerry to come back with the winner of the competition, so let's start with each of you introducing yourselves briefly before we start our discussion. So let's go by order. Maria Eduarda, if you may.
Hi. So my name is Maria Eduarda. I am a lawyer at the litigation team at BTG Pactual. And I am very pleased to be here tonight because this is actually a subject that is very dear to my heart because I have worked in a legal tech myself called Inspira. And so thank you for having me and for having this great discussion. I think this is very important for the legal students and the legal industry.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Felipe Medon. I'm a law professor here at FGV and also researcher at CTS. I'm also a lawyer, but in this panel, I'll be wearing my hat as a law professor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Caroline. I'm a federal judge in Rio, right across the street, very close. And I am studying in my PhD in University of São Paulo.
So Dario briefly introduced me. So I'm also a professor and researcher at CTS here, as many of us have appeared today. And here we'll discuss as how AI is already impacting the legal practice in Brazil. I guess that's where we are. And so let's start with a simple question. Has any AI tools have already been adopted in your daily practice, either in the public sector or in your private practice as part of a legal counsel for a company? So.
Well, yes. I mean, in the digital age that we are living nowadays, I think it would be impossible for a bank as huge as BTG, namely the biggest investment bank in Latin America, not to adopt AI kind of solutions. So in terms of what we sell to our clients, as a digital bank, we are always exploring new technologies in order to promote a better experience for the customers. And so, for example, in our mobile bank, we have AI and machine learning models providing insightful information of the client's expenses and credit scores, and etc. And in terms of what we do inside the institution, we adopt both external solutions and internal solutions. We have professional 24/7 focused on developing new projects. He's actually here today, Guilherme. And the idea behind having someone focused on the legal department is actually having someone that understands our pain, focused on making our life easier. So together with the amazing legal team, of course, legal team, no, because we are the legal team, together with the amazing IT team we have in the bank, Guilherme has created, for example, an automated portal payment that makes our life way easier, systems in which we can comply with judicial block orders in just one click. And I mean, this is only the beginning, because I think optimizing our efficiency and costs are always the goal, not only for the bank, but also from any institution, right?
We have around 70 artificial intelligence systems in the Brazilian judiciary, which is a large number if we compare to other countries. But the first thing that we should be aware for in Brazil, maybe for those who are not inside the judiciary but are lawyers, for example, is that we decided to adopt technology in the judiciary not because we want to be ahead in the discussion, but because it was a necessity. We have today around 75 million cases in the Brazilian judiciary, and we realized this, how big is this when you look to the second place of the second country that has a big amount of cases, which is India, and India has $30 million. So we have $70 million, and India has $30 million cases, which means that we are a lot ahead in the amount of cases. That's why we had to implement artificial intelligence solutions in order to give a better solution to the cases. So I'm not sure if you want me to say about some of these artificial intelligence systems, maybe later. Yes, maybe later. Just what's important for us to know now is that we have around 70 artificial intelligence systems spread across 45, 46 courts in Brazil. We have 90 courts in Brazil. Half of them already have artificial intelligence systems.
Well, I'll try to give a broader perspective, trying to make some reflections on what we are living in terms of young lawyers, people who get out of college, they are jumping into the market. What could they expect from artificial intelligence? How artificial intelligence could help them? And the first thing I'd like for us to think about is that we can't demonize technology. Technology is always the tool. It is the tool, and that is important for us to say, because all the good that technology can bring and all the bad it can bring, it depends on how we are using that technology. Technology itself is not the problem. So technology can help us enhance our daily activities. Technology can help us create more innovation in our daily lives, but it also can bring a lot of problems that end up in the judiciary at the end of the day. But I'd like to highlight a couple of points that, a couple of tasks that artificial intelligence could help us in our daily lives. Of course, that people are usually familiar with the summarization of a huge amount of text, that artificial intelligence and large language models could help us doing that. But it can help us in other ways. For instance, if you are pitching to a client, artificial intelligence, especially Gen AI, could help you create better image that you're going to use in that daily pitch that you're going to have with a client. For instance, it can give you grammar suggestions. So you have just written something down, it can give you grammar suggestion. And that grammar suggestion not only in Portuguese, but also in English. Suppose you're going to make a presentation, you can take that presentation inside an artificial intelligence system that can help you, give you some hints on how you can sound more natural for a native language speaker. You can have meetings transcriptions. That is something very interesting that many platforms nowadays they offer for you that possibility. But we also have to think about the dangers of data protection. Are you in an attorney-client privilege conversation and you are recording all that information and it's being translated by an artificial intelligence system that is hosted in another company? That's one of the issues that I would like to bring, just to give us some thoughts on this debate.
And So we have seen some stats. So Brazil has million lawyers, and it also has the most law schools in the world. And hopefully, despite our large number of legal cases, we can also be a leading country in using AI and technology to solve legal issues. So moving on to how should we use it and limit the use of these technologies. Is there any institutional recommendations within your organization or within the judicial system on how you should use, or most importantly, how you should not use any type of AI tool, and whether we should be thinking of imposing not only from the inside, but also thinking about limiting this either through regulation from the bar or any type of legislation to avoid any potential big issues within our legal system?
Well, I think it is very important for us to have regulations. This is not a doubt. But talking about BTG, that is the institution I can talk about. I think as a company listed in the stock market, it is very, very important for us to be extremely careful about data security measures, and so to preserve the confidentiality of our clients and all the data that we are dealing all day long. We deal with very sensitive kind of data. And I mean, there in the bank, as far as I am concerned, we had no incidents at all, because since day one, they set guidelines in order to train the employees on how to use it properly. So for example, we are subject to mandatory training sessions on compliance. Tomorrow, for example, we have a lunch that is more like a Q&A session with the head of the data and analytics team, aiming to show the whole bank on how they're using this data and how we should use it. So I think this is an ongoing effort, and it's very important for everyone, not only the legal team, but all the 7,000 employees in BTG to be aware of the risks and limitations that we are dealing when we're talking about AI and machine learning kind of tools, because we are still discovering the risks, right? Probably we are the ones who are gonna see it like go bad, deep bad in the in the effect, so we need to be careful.
Yes, we do have ethical recommendations to regulate the use of technology in the judiciary. We have a resolution number 332 from the National Council of Justice, Conselho Nacional de Justiça, which was edited in a couple of years ago, 2020. And it was edited because we have today 3 main groups of artificial intelligence systems in the judiciary. Philippe Medon is aware of this. So very briefly, the first main group of artificial intelligence systems that we use in the judiciary are focused on the administration of the court, not assisting the judge, but the court. For example, the chatbots. If someone has a doubt and want to make a question to the court, they will use this person will use the chatbot, asking something not to the servant, to the staff, but to the chatbot. The other group of artificial intelligence systems is focused on helping the judge, but grouping amount of cases, identifying patterns in cases, or a classifying process. So they are very simple. It's not a very sophisticated technology. They help the staff to separate the cases according to the teams, to the subjects, which is very important for us in the judiciary, because we have Brazilian judiciary has lots of similar cases. It's not like the United States when just a small amount of cases go to the judiciary. In Brazil, everything in one time or another will end up in the judiciary. So we have lots of similar cases, and use artificial intelligence to find patterns in these cases is our main use of artificial intelligence nowadays. So this is the second group of artificial intelligence systems, to find patterns in cases, to make groups of cases. and this is the most amount of artificial intelligence systems. And the third group of artificial intelligence systems, which has just some artificial intelligence systems, not a very big volume, is focused on assisting the judge to decide. For example, identifying, how can I say prescrição tributária? Prescrição ou decadência. Helping to calculate the tax. Yeah, that's it. Helping to calculate the tax when the case discusses taxes. So this is a very short group of artificial intelligence systems, and we shouldn't be aware or worried about this, because every time the machine points out that this taxes shouldn't be here charging someone, the judge will review that and say if this is right or this is wrong. So it's nothing very sophisticated also. But anyway, the National Council of Justice has issued a recommendation that requires that every court, for example, explains in the website if the court is using an artificial intelligence system, how the system is being trained, which is the data set of the system. Some courts are observing this recommendation and others are not. If you take a look at some courts, the website of some courts, you may find some artificial intelligence systems there, and in the other courts maybe they use artificial intelligence systems, but they don't, they hasn't created a website specific for that yet. But there is a recommendation that requires that.
One of the questions people usually ask us when we are talking about artificial intelligence in the legal practice is: are lawyers are in jeopardy? Are they gonna be an extinct kind of profession? And that is something that has, of course, come to our attention lately, because there is a very interesting study from the International Monetary Fund, and that study states that 40% of all jobs in the world will be affected by AI. And that is mostly like to be felt in the white-collar and professional ranks, including, of course, lawyers. So that's one of the questions that we bring to this conversation. Professor Frank Pactual, he has published a book recently, the new laws of robotics, and the first law that Pactual says is that AI should complement professionals rather than replacing them. He thinks that we should interact with machines rather than be replaced by machines. Of course, that there is some amount of automatization that is going to be inevitable. Even in the judiciary, we are seeing this happening. But when we talk about the legal practice in lawyers, law firms, that is, of course, a threat to us. But here, there is a window for us to expand our creativity, especially because lawyers have to develop new skills with these technologies. What are these new skills we are talking about? For instance, you have to learn how to provide good and right prompts to your artificial intelligence system. For that system to work fine, you have to feed that system with the right prompts. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the right output. But even if you give it the right prompt, that is not enough, because you still have to evaluate the output that is given. And even if you are in a almost 100% automated process, you still have a human there that should be in charge and should be asked to give a review if something bad happens. So that's one of the things that we should mention. And another issue before returning the word is that there is, of course, a huge pressure on people who are already in the market. So will these people that are the big law firms, they will invest in this technology? People who have been using the traditional tools so far, will they be open enough to get these technologies and implement these technologies in their daily lives, because if they fail to do so, that will maybe create room for young lawyers, people who are just getting out of college, already having that in their mind, this technology in their DNA. People will probably have this opportunity to get to places where they perhaps they thought they could never reach, given these traditional law firms that are being there.
So following on this last point of Felipe, I think the legal market is usually seen as very conservative in regarding shifting their practice, and lawyers are also seen like conservative people in the way they do things and how they practice law. And despite what you just said, I'm not sure if my own experience with law students, I would say that young students are as eager to adopt and understand how to use technologies as I would have expected some years ago. So I think there was a big shift in how they interact with smartphones that might have changed to lead to unexpected things. And I wanted to ask, in your own experience, how do actors in legal practice receive and perceive the use of this technology, and whether there is any difference if they have been practicing for a long time or if they're just starting their career? Are they indeed more eager to adopt and try to adapt their practice by incorporating new technologies and potential AI tools, either generative or the more not traditional but machine learning oriented tools that might be available to them and in guiding their decision making in legal practice?
Well, lawyers are very traditional and conservative, but I think it depends the way people approach the use of AI. It depends on their personal experience in the area they're acting, on how their leader and the institution they work in presents and approaches the use of these kinds of technologies on a daily basis. So, for example, our general counsel, Bruno Duque, is very enthusiastic about technology. And I think this makes all the difference in terms of how the legal department, as a team, seeks opportunity to optimize our routines. And, of course, this is not quite the reality when you look into a very traditional law firm. And talking about my experience in the expansion team in Legaltech, it is very hard sometimes to talk to lawyers. I mean, they're skeptical. The decision-making process is in the hands of, most of the time, an older partner that made his or her research in printed books and went to the Rio de Janeiro court during the summer in their lawsuit. And so I've heard one saying that, well, whose life is going to be easier with this technology? And I told him, you're a junior, you're an intern, and they're going to have more time to do intellectual stuff and help you at the end of the line, of course. And he was like, well, I've been through that. They need to do this as well. So, well, it depends on of course, generation and blah, blah, blah. But I think it depends. As a good lawyer would say, it depends.
I'm going to talk by the point of view of judges and staff in the courts, and they don't reject artificial intelligence systems. They don't trust 100%, though. I'm going to give you an example from our daily practice. Have you heard about the Victor, the artificial intelligence system from the Supreme Court in Brasilia? So Victor is a system who helps the justices to decide if the extraordinary appeal, recurso extraordinário, has or doesn't have general repercussion, repercussão geral. So when the extraordinary appeal comes to the Supreme Court, Victor, the system, will analyze if that appeal is according to one of the teams, the subjects of the general repercussion. And it does this, it points out the subject in around 5 seconds. It would take for the staff around 40 minutes to do that. So it helps a lot the staff. But when we talked about with the staff, and the justice, if they were using Victor or trusting them, they said that they are doing the job in the same way as if Victor wasn't there. So they do all the procedures as if Victor wasn't there. So they don't trust Victor yet. Victor is still learning. So I think we have a lot to walk in the judiciary with the AI systems.
Even the resolution from the judiciary, the 3322, mentions the automation bias problem, which is something that you believe too much or you don't believe in a technology because it is a technology, and that is something that definitely plays a major role. And one of the questions that I've heard from a very traditional lawyer the other day, he asked me, why would I implement a chat GPT alike on my law firm if they are probably going to make my intern maybe, I wouldn't stay, maybe let's use this word, less intelligent. So he won't be able to develop his skills properly if he keeps using all these technology. And to that question, I might have an answer that I've heard and I've read in this subject, which is I read something that Professor David Wilkins from Harvard said the other day about the use of calculator in schools, because that's a metaphor that we usually refer to. People will start using those chat GPTs alike, and they will stop learning how to get things done by themselves. And that the same question was asked before when the automated calculator was introduced. Will students become less capable of doing math if they have access to calculators? And Wilkins' answer is very interesting. He says, students get access to calculator, but only after they have developed, and it's clear that they have developed certain skills. Like they know how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication. They know how to do the basics. Only after they know how to do the basics, they are given the tools that can ease them their lives. So it's a way of doing this. You're not just going to give them to a student on the first month of his activity, his career, an artificial intelligence tool that will maybe it won't help him. It will, at the end of the day, it will make him more relaxed. He won't trust on his own skills, and he'll try to do everything by technology, and that's something that we must focus on our discussion.
Okay, so shifting a bit the focus, not by choice, so maybe a legal firm might not adopt AI by their partner's choice, but whenever we introduce new technologies into any practice or market, we inevitably end up with inequality on who has access to it. So these are usually introduced as expensive products that might cater to more to agents with more resources. So, and this might be related to an important idea in judicial procedures that we have, this like idea of parity of weapons during the legal process. So should we be worried that AI tools might privilege people and attorneys that have more resources available to them, and not by choice? Like this, if a law partner or a law firm decides not to use these tools by choice, I guess that's part of the game, as we could put. But if they do not have resources to pay or have it available to them due to some previous inequality, should we be worried about this as a society or as legal professionals that might see this play out for people that are trying to get access to their rights in the end?
Well, that's a very, very difficult question. And it's actually hard to say that it might end up creating some kind of inequality, or at least making it clear that there is some kind of inequality, but not only in the legal profession, I think broadly speaking. So I think this is a problem that lawyers together with the startups have to deal with, because how you make it possible for people who cannot afford the product that you settled after hours and hours of study, how do you balance this with people that, I mean, they also need to, because at some point everyone is going to need to use this kind of tools. So I think this is a very good question. Deoclides, I'm not seeing him, from Juit. Hi. People, my beloved friends from Inspira, and well, all other competitors from the legal tech industry need to approach this very seriously, because this is a very important issue. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer this one.
But well, I'm not sure how law offices work. I've never been a lawyer, but I would say that I was in a webinar with AB2L, and someone did this very same question, and the answer was maybe we should be more worried about the lawyers who don't want to learn about artificial intelligence, and not the financial resources that they have or they don't have, because associations like AB2L have lots of different prices and opportunities for those who really want to use artificial intelligence systems. So we have very expensive and very cheap ones. So maybe financial resources won't be a very big difference in the law firm, but as a judge now, I would say that it does make a lot of difference when you have a large amount of data in the case, and you know, for example, how the judge decides. I have received some lawyers to despachar. I don't know how to say this in English. I think it's a very Brazilian habit, despachar with the judge. So lots of lawyers who, from big firms, who come to the court to talk about a case. I'm sure they know how I decide. They know my previous sentence. They have statistics with their jurimetric systems that helps them to make the better arguments that will convince me, because they know how I will be convinced because of the data they have. So I think even if we can say that associations like AB2L can provide lots of AI tools with different prices, I would say that those who have more financial resources are ahead in this race.
So before I give the word to Felipe, I just want to press a bit on this. So if they're charging a higher price, I think they are at least trying to say they offer a product that is distinct in some ways, and in the end, just some people are gonna have access to that. And this is especially difficult problem when we think that a lot of people in the judicial system, a lot of people in Brazil depend on public defendants. So some people might not even be able to hire private law officers or law firms. So I think I'll give, in your experience, is this something that public attorneys might also bring up? Do they use it? Do you see in your daily practice? Maybe not seeking, because they might have some kind of limitation of resources on what they can use, but do they have anything available to them that can be used by the private side?
Well, I'll just get back to the previous question and try to mix with this one. I was reading that interview by Professor Wilkins, and the same question was asked to Professor Wilkins. And they asked, what is the difference between what we have today and what we're going to face with AI? Because you have, for instance, a very good lawyer, somebody who is in one of the greatest law firms in the country or in South America, and you have a young lawyer who has just graduated, has no law firm connections, has no money, he has no infrastructure to help his lawyering skills. What is the difference that AI is going to bring to this scenario? Isn't that already something that we deal every day? People who have different power when they go to court. And Wilkins' answer has really got to my head. He said something that the difference is that AI is going to bring something exponential. This difference that is today huge is going to be exponentially huge. This inequality is going to be exponentially high. And he gives an example that is very interesting. He says, today, the best leverage that you can get in the legal system is hire the best lawyer. But when you use AI, you probably will have a tool that can perform certain tasks better than the best human. Imagine the capability of analyzing a huge amount of data, a huge amount of legislation, all of Judge Carolina decisions in the last 10 years. That's something that the human brain can't possibly do or will take years to do. And maybe an artificial intelligence system will do in a couple of minutes. So that will be the disproportional impact. It will be exponential. So that would be something that brings us to the next question. Public defendants should also be equipped with that. They should also have access to that, because at the end of the day, it's going to be an unfair battle.
I couldn't agree more. I just would say that public offices like public defensoria, and they have access to artificial intelligence systems, and they can develop their own systems. For example, judiciary has 70 AI systems, so maybe our defensoria should do the same.
Okay, so I think we have to start leading to a closure, and I mean, even if the judicial system sometimes has tools at their disposal and they might not use it. So before I'll give you an opportunity to give any closing remarks, but I'll try to ask, since we're here hosting this at FGV Rio Law, and if you want to give any message to future lawyers and current law students, how should they prepare should they prepare to use these tools while they are still studying and before they enter the market? Is there anything they should be particularly worried about, and try to educate themselves before they even reach the point where they will be faced with the decision of actually using it in their own practice?
Take José's class more seriously.
I think most important then, because everyone knows that we need to be not only new students, not law students, but we all need to educate ourselves to use AI better. But having studied in the US, I think it is very important to send a message that law schools play a very important role on this one. I mean, in the US, once you get to the school on day one, you get access to all kinds of tools, and you have training sessions with free food, which makes everyone attend, and happy hours afterwards. And so once you get to a law firm, it is natural for the student to pressure the lawyers that they're working on, like, do you have, for example, LexisNexis, Westlaw? And so the pressure comes first from the law school that educates the students to pressure the law for the partners, the juniors, the senior partners, and well, so I think it is very important that law schools understand this message.
I don't think that technology will solve the problems of our judicial systems. It is a very important tool, but nothing more than that. A good lawyer knows the legislation, knows the case law, knows the doctrine, and uses AI system to increase his or her efficiency. So uses technology as a tool. So you are the pilots, and the artificial intelligence system is just the co-pilots. Don't forget that.
My advice would be, don't forget to develop your legal reasoning. So you have to develop your legal reasoning before you rely on technology, because otherwise you're going to be a slave to the machine.
Yeah, I think this is an important point. So if you want to be able to clearly use any tool, you have to know why you're doing yourself. So I do not believe myself either that in any way the legal profession is about to become obsolete. So just beware that you will be encountering these tools and you should know how to employ them in your legal practice. So that's what I believe, and knowing their limitations and where they can be effectively used is the most important. And as you all said, how to improve the efficiency of what you're doing along your daily activities. So I think with this we should be closing out, and I'll pass it back to Dario and the organization to hopefully announce the winner of our competition here.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, José, Caroline, Felipe, and Maria Eduarda. It was an interesting conversation. And I will now hand over for the last part of today's event before we all get out and have some, we call it here, aperitivo, as we call it in Europe, and some snacks. Please, Maria Clara, if you want to come to stage and reveal who you, the 5 jurors we had here in the front, decided to be the winner.
I didn't choose anything. So first of all, I think in the name of FGV Rio and all the judges, we want to thank the startups for the participation. Okay, so we will have for the participation and the interesting of innovating in the legal sector, because that's really important for us to have people looking for this. There are a lot of demand, there are a lot of opportunities, and the best. So let's go to the end part, the closing part, and the chosen one is Legaltech. Okay. And considering that they are really far away, we're going to give the statement for Dario, so it's the representation.
I promise I will not keep it. Thank you very much, and I promise I will not keep it, but probably as the only European in the room, maybe I might be the best representative for this one. So, thank you very much for your participation. If I just can quickly, for one brief minute, hand over to Legaltech.
Yeah. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. That's fine.
You're on.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, to be honest. Really, really great competition. We first want to say, all the startups were really good. And we definitely learned a lot from everybody presenting, also from the panel discussion. And yeah, we wanted to thank you for giving us a chance to pitch. It was really amazing. And we'd love to connect with you, and learn more about the legal sector in Brazil. And yeah, thank you, Dario, as well, for inviting us. And I hope we can network and, talk in the future about the future of legal tech.
So thank you very much, and one more time, thank you for all the people who helped organizing the event, being from the communications team, everybody who joined us as a panelist, as a juror, all the startups that were involved, all the guests for joining us, and a special thanks to all the sponsors, PTG Pactual, and also My Legal or Shopping Goldberg, Advogados, for having supported us. So, and with these last remarks, again, thank you all in this room and back home a lot. And now let's go outside and enjoy the reception. Thank you very much.